Camille Rent.
I'm Camille Rent.
And here's the next episode of There I Said It.
Good morning and welcome back to There I Said It, starring me, Ingrid Rather. Today's guest is going to be Katrina Ferell. Quick second before I start, if I can bring your attention to this fine piece of apparel I'm wearing here. It is from a young lady named Siobhan Reyes Plummer, owner of Savvy Artistry Boutique in Chicago, Illinois. I'll have more on that later. I'm going to be wearing these different t-shirts by Black-owned t-shirt makers every week. So if you're interested, please hit my Facebook, Instagram, however. In the meantime, let's get started. Today's guest is none other than Katrina Ferell. Katrina Ferell is sending shockwaves all over the internet in the city of Chicago with her high-intensity boot camps and sexy workout apparel line. Katrina has the TWT Worldwide Fitness Apparel and TWT Worldwide Fitness. Also a former bodybuilder, she's a girl from the west side of Chicago that had a vision and enough dedication to bring it to life. Hello.
Hi.
So I'd like for you to kind of tell us a little bit about yourself before we start. Where are you from?
I am from the west side of Chicago, born and raised from these west side streets.
Okay. Well, knowing that, we can all kind of figure out what would make a person want to get fit. That's a given. But what made you want to take it a step further and decide, you know what, not only, because I mean, just think about that for a second. Most people from the west side they'll work out or whatever, but they never, you don't hear a lot of people saying, you know what, I'm gonna be the next Hulk Hogan. Like, that'd be just like somebody decide to join the WWE. You know what I mean? What made you decide to do that?
Decide to compete in a bodybuilding competition.
Where'd you even get that idea from?
Well, in the process of me just working out and losing weight, actually, my coach at the time, we were at Export Fitness, and he saw me working hard, losing weight as well. And one day he just approached me like, "Man, you looking good. We should do a show." And I'm like, a show? I had really no idea what he meant at that time. Mm-hmm. However, his background, he basically prepped men and women to compete in bodybuilding competitions.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so, in my head, I'm like, yeah, once he told me about it and kind of explained more to me about it, all I could think about was, oh my God, I'm about to have abs. So that was like, no. So, and I thought about that because remember, I was this bigger woman.
Oh, yeah.
Whose belly hung in her lap. So
when he said that. That's crazy.
Oh, yeah. So
I know you posted a few things, but it just don't look like you that big.
To be young, maybe about 20 years old, weighing about 220 pounds, and then I'm short as well, like 5'3" at the most. So that's heavy. So again, when he told me that, he approached me, all I could think about was, yes, I'm about to give me some abs. That was my main goal. And I think that was my main goal because I used to always get questions like, "Oh, you think that by me having this bigger stomach, will I ever be able to achieve abs?" Mm-hmm. And that was my way of showing the world that it can be done.
Gotcha.
So that was my motive behind it. So
yeah. That's funny. Okay, well, ain't nothing wrong with that. We both know my little half-ass fitness journey, but so I get it. Did you share this with people right away? And if so, who did you share it with? Did you kind of keep it under your head, like, okay, I'm gonna just come out on them, like, bam, what? Let me, my stomach gonna start itching. Let me just scratch my ass.
Oh, actually, I shared it with everyone who was around me at that time, whether it was family, friends, everybody. A lot of people was like, oh, we don't get why. And again, during my weight loss journey, you know, I already had, whether it was family and friends saying like, oh, you getting too small, you know, what more are you trying to lose? And a lot of people, and I'm gonna say more of the Black community, have a misconception of people just work out to look a certain way. And yes, that was ideal for me when I first began. But as I got more into fitness, I realized this was an overall health goal for me. And this was going to be a lifestyle for me. And the purpose of me just doing that show was to prove not only to people, but to me that you can be a big person and rip your body naturally. And and the biggest thing for me, I wanted to show people, hey, without surgeries, without everything that's so trendy right now, this can be done. Was it easy? Absolutely not. But yeah, so.
Okay. Well, I guess, how did they respond when they started to see like you were really serious about this?
Some people was like, oh my God, like you're doing it. You know, like we see it, like I can't believe you just like what, you know, everybody wants to know, what are you doing? How are you getting your body like this? But a lot of people was like, oh my God, like she looks sick. You know, so I got that.
Lose weight, why they gotta be sick? Why they
sick, you know, and for me, my mental and my tunnel vision was so I already saw me fit and lean and ripped. And that was my ultimate goal. So even with the positive and the negative, it was just about me at that point. I have a goal. They don't realize that this is just something to do to, you know, for a temporary time. I can't keep my body fat percentage at a 10%. You know, so it was just something to do at that time, and they didn't realize that. And a lot of times I stopped having conversations with people like, well, why are you doing it? And this and that, because, you know, it was just me wanting to preserve my energy for
right.
what I had to prepare my mind and my body for. And I didn't want to detour from that. So I got some good and bad, you know, feedback from it.
Okay. So who are your supporters? Like, who are some of your supporters during that time?
Well, back then, my mom was my number one supporter. She supported me through everything.
What'd
my
she say
son,
when you told her?
She was like, okay, do it. You already, you know, working out. You should go for it, you know. So yeah, a lot of my friends supported, even though they probably was like, you know, they still they still support and stuff. So yeah. But I still had some of those negative people that didn't understand, and I never took it a certain type of way. I just knew that it's not for everybody, and everybody will not understand where I'm trying to go or my vision that I see. So when they realized and actually saw the results in it, they were just like, wow.
You gotta show them sometimes.
Yeah.
So being in that, because I mean, again, being in bodybuilding competition, and I don't know how long you were doing that for and where exactly you went, but I must imagine that's a different social arena than you're used to being around, and different personalities. And I know that a lot of those people come from not only different parts of the country, sometimes different parts of the world. I mean, that's a big diversified jump for a girl from the West Side. And definitely. How did you handle that? And what are some of the challenges that you encountered there?
Well, think about it. For one, I'm doing this So a bodybuilding competition or a bikini competition is not about weight loss. Okay. It's about coming in lean, more defined. Mm-hmm. So think about it. I'm this heavier girl getting my body lean with these professionals who's been doing this for a while, and they may have not even came from the weight that I came from. Mm-hmm. So here I am with this girl with a bikini on with loose skin at the bottom of her stomach, and you have these chiseled men and women without a stretch mark, you know. Uh-huh. And again, like you said, all nationalities. So I'm just like, I was just grateful to be around the people. They were so supportive, and they all knew like the hard work that it took to get all of us there. So I think it was amazing just to see that, and that it was like really no judging, that everybody realized like we all worked hard, you know, but it was still like wow, like I felt as if, of course you want to win, you want to come in first place. Yeah. But I was so satisfied with my body, my results, my work that I put into it, that it didn't matter to me if I was sitting there with loose skin and this girl was sitting here with a perfect body. I knew that I had worked hard, and I was just satisfied I didn't cheat myself. So yeah, so I think it was pretty awesome just meeting new people, knowing that that there was more possibilities out there for me and different doors that I had opportunities to.
Absolutely. Yeah, the reason why I thought about that question was I remember an interview with a couple interviews actually with Tyra Banks. And being a model, being a Black model, and having to go all over this world, over the world, in this really mostly whitewashed community that she was in, and that can be a challenge for some people. And I love the way you were able to see the rainbow in all of that. You know what I mean? Just because everybody can't do that. A lot of times. I remember a conversation I had with a young lady about my upbringing, and which is weird because I am from the hood, but my mother, for some reason I still don't understand, had us bouncing around from school to school all the time. Where there was times where I was only the only Black kid in the class. There were times where there's and they acted like I was the blackest Black kid. Let me tell you that. Then there was times where I was in a much more mixed, diverse classroom with some of everybody till my end, where I graduated with all Black kids again. I was back and forth between those ends of the spectrum. And I was talking to this young lady and telling her about it. And basically what I said was, she commented, she was like, I would have been so mad about that. And I don't know how I would have handled that. And I was just like, well, what I learned from that experience was how to be myself wherever I'm at. Like, like I know how to, I'm a little hood, but I'm super intelligent. I can be myself. Everybody that knows me, nobody that's ever met me has mistaken me for ignorant or stupid. You know what I mean? And that's, you need to be able to find your line and walk your line. Like, stay in your lane, I should better say it, and walk in that and walk in your truth, and you'll be all right. You'll find your niche.
I totally agree. And just to piggyback off that, that's why it's so important that we make fitness and health a part of our lifestyle, because a lot of me not being intimidated going up there had a lot to do with me building my confidence before I even got to that stage. And part of me building my confidence was me working on my body, working on my mental. So that prepared me for what I was about to face. So I definitely think a lot of people need, that's why we have to make health important. Yeah. So.
Okay, well, let's skip to the revelations. What did you learn from that experience that made you want to motivate other people and decide, I have a vision, I want to, or maybe it wasn't a vision. Maybe you just decided, you know what, people keep asking me, let me, you know, help a few people, and or let me just train, and you know what I'm saying? How did that happen?
Well, before the bodybuilding competition came along, on my weight loss journey with me just smothering myself in a gym, losing weight, there were already people asking to work out with me. And I'm saying work out because that's what it was. I had no vision on being a trainer at that time when I was just working on myself. But so many people saw me 7 days a week at the gym. Men and women, it was like, wow, like this girl is so dedicated to wherever she's trying to do, wherever she's trying to go, she's getting it done. And so that gravitated like men and women to me, and they'll start saying like, hey Trina, can we work out with you this day? And I'm like, yeah, cool. I'm just doing this routine. You can hop in. And that's really how I started. So then again, when I lost the weight or started to lose the weight and I decided to do the bodybuilding competition, that the competition actually taught me that I can do anything I put my mind to, because that was a 6 months of no cheat meals, the same 6 meals every day, training 3 times a day, so no alcohol, no wine, no nothing. So my social lifestyle had to change. And think about it, at the time I was a bartender.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I was a bartender at the time. So when people come up to the bar, like, oh, can I buy you a shot and stuff? I'll already have like a vodka bottle filled with water. You know, but doing that competition just made me know, like, man, beyond fitness, I'm able to do anything that I want with my life, because you have to be so disciplined with doing like a competition like that, that it can prepare you for anything else in your life. And that feeling, the feeling that I got from it, the high that I got from it was an unexplainable feeling that I just wanted others to feel what I had felt.
See it in your face, like when you said that. Like, and I like that though. I love to see somebody so in love with something, and that it's like literally a light beaming from them when they're talking about it. I love that, and I like it on the people of the melanated community. So you know, I'm all about. But it just makes me happy to hear, which I guess brings me to my next thing. Like, when I first heard of you, it was just, I saw somebody else. I told you this already, but I saw somebody else, a coworker of mine, a former coworker of mine, who had been in their program, and she had posted a picture of herself. And I know that I literally sat with this girl, and we did this green cleanse sitting at our desk, and what basically amounted to us sitting at the desk starving all day, drinking nothing but water and a substance that really closely resembled salsa verde. And for those of the listeners who don't know what salsa verde is, it's the green sauce that you get when you go to the Mexican restaurant, okay? Yep. But it clearly was not that, but us just eventually breaking down and like, listen, I'm starving, maybe just one bag of chips. I gotta eat something. Meanwhile, let me just put this out there. Where we were working, the cafeteria is on our way to the office, and every morning you smell bacon, you smell pancakes. They were just, it was hot. It was a nice little spot to work for, okay? And they had all the good stuff in the morning time. And at the time, when I started that job, I didn't eat real bacon. Like, I had been on turkey bacon for a good 10 years. But that place got me hooked again. So we had to be there. Like, I know I had to be there like 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning to work. So all day I was starving, and I'm smelling this food. And anyway, the point is, with this young lady, I saw her and I'm like, okay, she told me where to go or whatever. And I'm like, let me just try this, because, you know, I remember her going on and on about losing weight. And so I got there and immediately was blown away at the location. I hadn't even met you yet. I was like, oh my God, this is right here on the west side of Chicago. Oh my God, I was just really happy to see it there. Then when I walk in and see all these other Black girls, my heart started to beat. Like, you don't even know, like my heart started to beat. Like, even the day that I just happened to go be able to make the bitter end of the boot camp you have at the park. Once I drove up there and I was pulling up, nice crispy summer day, and I could smell the air. I could smell the sweat of all my ancestors out there saying, fuck you to all these white people out here that just don't believe, or anybody that don't believe Black girls work out too.
Work out.
So, and they ain't just working out, they looking good. So I was just really excited to see that, and when I was riding up, I remembered that first time. Then I walk in and I see this tiny, because you are short, but the cutest little lady, and she tells me something about her being a bodybuilder. I'm like, what? This is awesome. You got the real West Side accent. Nobody knows what that is, but I can hear it immediately. And I'm like, oh, this is awesome. And then I'm seeing all of these young ladies in line getting ready to take their journey. They're getting their way in. They're all excited, like wondering about the possibilities. And I remember what you said. You said, don't bullshit yourself. You told me that, and I was like, I like her. So even if I don't always listen at that time or really have the opportunity to take in what's said to me, I take that and what I always said about advice I was given about from my elders and my father, and I put that in my toolbox and I put that in my back pocket, and I remember those things. And ain't nobody, and I think people need to understand, people respect truth and keeping it real, and you immediately did that, and I just thought that was so cool. What made you decide? I know that was a long-winded.
Oh, you good.
But what made you decide to have it there, do it there?
You know what? I can't say that it was just the ultimate decision that I was like, oh, I'm gonna work out here. It was again, I was born on the West Side, so I moved. So my mom and always stayed near the YMCA. And at that time, my grandma had passed. And so my auntie wanted to keep our building a family building, which is right around the corner from the YMCA. Okay. And I moved over there, taking over my grandma's apartment. And I was just like, hey, I need to find some type of indoor gym, because right now I'm doing outside, I need somewhere inside, because like October is going to get cold. So I went around to the YMCA and was like, hey, do you guys have a gym here? So the guy who is my fiance right now, he actually
shout out fiance.
No. So he actually showed me around and, showed me the gym. And that's how I started doing like my one-on-one trainings there, that eventually led up to me doing a booty boot camp, and then eventually led up to the 6-week challenge. So that's how that happened.
Well. So when, I think that is the cutest story, but we'll dish about that at another time. But so what made you decide to do the boot camp, to go from the one-on-one trainings to the boot camp? I love to see how you literally jumped from one step to the next level. And I think that's really the patience of a person to do that, because I don't have any. So it is very admirable to me for somebody to actually be able to not only be patient with themselves, but patient with other people and just the time. Because I don't know, I get so excited, and most of us do get really excited about the possibilities to you really just want, and you can see it in your head and what it could be. And you just kind of want to rush to that end, and you can't always do that. So tell me a little bit about that.
So again, I was doing the one-on-one trainings, but I was doing it literally from 5 a.m. to probably 9 at night. So this was all. Now keep in mind, I told you at that time too, I was a bartender. So I would do it from 5 to 9 and head out to go bartend, and I'm back at it in the morning. And so from the results and people, talking about it, I started getting more and more, women that wanted to train with me. And I'm like, wow, like, this is a lot, but I want to help everybody. I don't want to turn anybody down. I want to help everybody, but at the same time, too, I'm bartending and I have a young son. So I can't, put all my time here. So I was like, okay, let me just do a booty boot camp class. That because if I can't get you as a one-on-one client, at least you can come to this class at this time. So I eventually did the booty boot camp class. That was a success. Even though the first class was like 30 people, then of course it started with like 10 to 15 girls, which was fine. But I did start my price at $15 per person for booty boot. So after that, I was still doing my one-on-one trainings. My fiance actually said, hey, T, why don't you make booty boot camp $5? It's cold, people want to come out, make it. I'm like, you're right. It was no big deal to me because this was just something that I love doing. I knew a lot of people wanted to work out with me, needed to work out as well. And because of the community that I was in, I wanted to make it affordable for the people that wanted to come. So we did a $5 class, and that lit up.
Your number, that's your number.
Yes, the gym was extremely crowded. I'm like, okay, wow. So now, from that going into the bartending, my bar was about to close down. My manager came to me. He was like, hey, you guys, I'm selling the bar. He was like, we closing after the World Series.
Oh, wow, okay.
Wow. So I was like, wow. So
what was it, like 2016, 2017? Because I remember that because that was a big deal around the city. Yeah, okay.
So I was like, Trina, what you gonna do? Because you're not going back to another bar. I was in love with this bar. It was like a family-oriented bar. I loved it. I was like, you're not going back into this. You already said once this is over with, you want to go full fitness.
Okay.
So one day I'm at home, like, okay, what you gonna do, Trina? So I'm sitting at home, and all of a sudden I was like, I'm gonna do a challenge. All right,
look at you shrewd businesswoman, you. Okay.
Yes, I was like, a challenge, So I was like, okay, I'll do a challenge. I'll do 2 classes. I'm gonna do a 6 a.m. and a 7 p.m. class. I'm like, oh, I may have about 20 to 30 people in each class. That's what I'm thinking. Remind you, I just put this out here, and I put up a website without any really, I guess I'm gonna say, thinking less of me. I can say, and I put it out there, and I'm like, and all of a sudden the website is going ding, 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 ding. So I'm like, okay, whatever, let it do what it, but I never had a limit on the website.
Oh, wow.
Exactly. So the challenge starts, I'm weighing in people and weighing in girls, but I'm like, wow, this weighing is all day. I have to do it 2 days, but still not seeing how big this is going to be. So challenge starts. I teach my 6 a.m. class. Huge, amazing. Fills the gym. I probably have about 30 to 50 women. I teach the 7 p.m. class. We could barely move in the gym.
Seen that.
We could. So this is the first.
She ain't lying, y'all.
So after after the class was over, my fiance was like, T, you probably need to split, make 2 classes, maybe do a 6 p.m. and 7 p.m. So at the end of the class, I was like, hey, anybody want to do 6 p.m.? They like, yeah. So that's how the 3 classes came about, the 6 a.m., 6 p.m., 12 p.m.
Ah, okay.
So, 6 a.m., 6 p.m., and 7 p.m. And so
shout out to Cece though, because he is observant and he paid attention. Yeah, so I appreciate him because that was he saw the growth.
He saw the growth, and he's just all about supporting me and making sure that I'm successful, and I appreciate him for it. And but yeah, so that's how 3 classes came about, and the results were amazing after that. And ever since after that first challenge, all of the 6-week challenges have completely sold out. So I'm super excited about that. And so that's how I 12 p.m. class. Yeah.
I remember like having to hurry up and make sure before that big close sign was on there, like, oh, now I'm gonna miss it. I remember I ain't had no money one time, and I had to hustle my little change to hurry up and get it. And payday wasn't to, you know what I'm saying? But I wanted to be there so bad because it was so, which I really missed it. Once I couldn't go anymore, I still miss it. But I know this about myself. I need to be back in the gym. Me being at home I'm not, motivated enough because I'm too comfortable. I got to get out of here. Yeah. So waiting. I can't wait till you open the gym back up. But in any case, it is a feeling that you get. I couldn't wait to get back into that gym. I couldn't wait to, even though I would have to leave my job from downtown. I did not live on the west side. I happened to live in Evanston. And I know some people was coming out from out south and everything. So if people was coming from all over. I remember another girl I was working with told me she ended up at a different place, mind you. It's like she was, I don't even know how we ended up talking in a break room or whatever. She was just like, yeah, I'm doing a boot camp too. Like, people used to see me. I used to get ready, going to, they had the little lactation rooms. I go in there and change my clothes at the end of the day. And people like, where you going? Maybe that's how I don't even remember how the conversation went, but she told me she was joining, or maybe I told her about it. I don't even remember. All I know is she would be there. Leaving, getting on that bus, and God knows I hate public transportation. Yeah, that green line, baby, is something else.
And we're saying that too, and that's what I want to say is that this, to me, my boot camps aren't just ordinary boot camps. This is not just a workout class, and I think that a lot of people need to hear and realize that it wasn't just about the workout. It was the vibe. It was the energy. Yes. It was the women, different types of women. It was everything. And this is why I had the success, or I am having the success that I'm having now, because it was the energy that everyone received from the class. Not everybody was there for weight loss. Some people was there just to feel good. Some people was just there.
Yes.
Some people was there just to be around, other good people.
Yes.
So it was just bigger than weight loss. That's why we call ourselves the fitness family. It's a family there. You honestly, even with us telling you guys about it, you would have to literally come.
You would literally have to be there. There are stories where people on these sitcoms always say you had to be there. You literally had to be there to feel the vibe. And not even just the support, like, of other people. That it was times where other people were struggling. I've literally had them clap people up. She have had them clap people up just so they can make it past that goal, that finish line. That's important. Like, because some of those people have, just the testimonials about, because there's a group, what do you call it, online group that kind of shares their stories, and some of people have stories that have really deep meanings deep to them personally, health-wise, just even emotionally, that people just don't know. And man, you really just don't know. When I said the experience the movement, that's what I mean. It's an experience.
Yes.
One other thing I wanted to ask you about that part. Your son, you are a mom. How does that all tie together? How did that work? Did you have to bring the baby on on your hips? And how does that work out?
No, I didn't have to bring him on my hips because he was at age when I began my fitness journey, I want to say. So I had him in 2003. I started my fitness journey in 2009, 2010.
Okay. So
I always had like my mom or, my ex at that time to, help me with him. However, though, there was some times that I did bring him to the gym and to the daycare as well, when I didn't have a babysitter. So other than that, it was just like, it was going to get done. There was nothing that it was going to get done. There was nothing. I was not going to miss a workout. I was going to make it work. Whether he was with me, I was going to arrange something. But yeah, other than that, he was in daycare, schooling. I kind of had, a cool support system.
That's good. That's good. I like to touch on that for a minute because people often place limitations on themselves due to being a parent. I too was a young mother. I had my first baby at 18, and it was just basically back to back after that. But it was never a time where I didn't continue to try to, because I knew I needed to support my kids, and I would go to work. Now, I will say that I repeatedly placed school on the back burner at the time just because I was a very involved mom. I enjoyed motherhood. So, but at the time, it was hard. There were times I didn't have a job and everything. And people would always come to me and say, "Oh, I can't," with all these excuses. No, ma'am, you got the wrong one. Because I remember internet cafes. Remember the internet cafe where you would pay to get, be on their Wi-Fi and be on the computer. I had 3 kids with me, okay? 3 of them, back to back. So everybody little right now. I would pay and be in there for a full workday for hours, revamping my resume, putting out my resume, and all that, because I didn't have a computer or internet or whatever at home. Or when I ain't had no money, I would sit in the library. And there's only a certain time period they would allow you to be on the computer in the library. So before you have to wait, like I want to say about an hour before you could get back on. So in between that, I'm reading with my kids, finding books with them till it's time for me to go back to my to put in for those jobs, because I had babies to feed it. People don't understand it.
You're exactly right. And so I had my son at a very young age. I had him at 15 years old. Mm-hmm. And my mom wasn't one of those parents that was like, "Oh, I'm a babysit." I think she was more angry than anything. So she wanted me to really be responsible and raise my son. Mm-hmm. So again, I was a sophomore in high school, and I was pushing him on a stroller through the snow.
Yes, ma'am. You don't gotta say on me. I had a double stroller with those 3. They used to call my stuff the ghetto school bus. So
And luckily, the daycare woman at that time, she just loved me so much. She just said, "Listen, I'll take your baby to, while you at school, and then while you go to work, go ahead. Do what you need to do. I'll have him until like 9." And so thank God for her, But other than that, I think at a very young age, I had to learn, hey, you have to get it done. Mm-hmm. You have to make a way, because either it's going to happen or it's not, Yes, so, ma'am. And at that time, my life was no longer about me. I was
Yes,
caring
ma'am.
for someone else, you know, so.
Mm-hmm. Understood. Okay, speaking of that, obviously we're kind of speaking towards your support system. So obviously you had some support from your child care provider. What else? What other ways? Because we talked about this before. Like support. Support can mean many things. In this case, you know, this lady she saw something in you, that she saw that you were trying, you were looking to be a good mom, but you wanted to be a provider for your child at that time. What other type of support did you receive, and what does support mean to you?
For me, support means to me honestly information.
I know that's right.
Sometimes a lot of people think that support means to like buy into their service or something that they're offering. And that's cool, you know, that's awesome. You know, you want whatever you're selling, someone to buy it, you want to make money, but sometimes you have to think about long term.
Yes.
And I think this and the most support that we can get as entrepreneurs, you know, anybody who's trying to build a business, is information. Because we don't know it all, you know, starting out. And with me starting TWT, I had no idea. And I can sit here and be honest to say everything came onto me at once. And at a point, I was just like, I fell back and was like, oh my God, I don't want a business. I just want to work out. I just want to work out. Like,
understood.
Like I shunned away from it because I'm, oh my God, you know, when it came to, you know, LLCs and structuring your business, I was just like, oh my God, I just want to work people out, you know. So I think had I had that advice at the beginning or that information on starting a business and structuring your business and certain things to do, I probably wouldn't have been so afraid. However, though, I'm thankful that I end up meeting people during my class that was more than willing to help me and to advise me. So although I know I had a lot of women, you know, supporting me as far as in purchasing my services, I think the biggest support for me was being able to continue to elevate and provide the best service to these women that was coming from me based off the information that was given to me.
Gotcha. I love that.
Yeah.
Information is, people don't know how invaluable like information can be. It's like a lot of times, most people that, you know, some people that go to college and or just have some sort of training on business and how to run it, they went to school for that. People that are entrepreneurs sometimes, like you had no idea. You just came up with things kind of on the fly, or some of the stuff just kind of fell into your lap until somebody pulled you by your coattails and said, hey, you need to get a little, you know, organization about this. You need to kind of try to find a better way of doing this, a more structured way of doing this. And I think that is so key. Even recently, I started an LLC, and all I did was text my cousin an accounting question, not even being fully aware of whether or not he was really an accountant. I knew he worked in banks, and I know he went to Morehouse, and he graduated for something. But I just texted him. Next thing you know, my phone is ringing. Like, he's like, what do you mean, cuz? And he has this wealth of knowledge that I didn't even know he had. Like, you know, communication is so important. People don't know, like, if you don't ever, my father used to always say this, you need to get your needs met. You need to talk to people. And if you get told no, then you ain't no worse off than you was before you asked the question. But the idea that you could get that yes is very important. So you need to stick your toe out there, open your mouth. The closed mouth does not get fed. So I'm so happy that I even reached out to him, because then he was like, well, his sister, you need to call her because she can help you. And she had some really great ideas about the structure of my website or whatever, the content, I should say. She's not a techie person by any means, but she was able to give me some really good feedback on that. And again, I'm really big on communication and feedback, because I can't say I didn't know, or you can't say I know, because we talked about this. and because I didn't know, then I didn't get, and that's a problem. I need communication. So I love that you said that.
And also, I think building relationships, making sure that you build solid relationships, because it goes hand in hand with communication. And just to say, I met my accountant doing bartending, who's my accountant of my business now. And she was she bartended with me, but she was the actual accountant for the bar. Okay. And I kept that relationship, you know, and when I took off, I instantly was like, reached out to her like, hey, and you know, we still rocking. So I think it's so important to build relationships and communicate, because you know, it's usually people right around you who can actually help you with whatever you're trying to do.
That is so, I mean, people don't understand the value of just networking and communication. Also, I didn't even know, because being that I had pretty much built my life a certain way, because you know I had 3 kids and I had this structured way of life that I coming outside, and I consider myself pretty social to a degree, but I went and I can talk to anybody, but once I get home, shut down. Only people I want to talk to in my house for the most part, and a couple of friends. So, but I didn't know that I had leaving the impressions on even people that I would meet in the street and just say, hey, give me a bite of your sandwich, just playing with people. You never know who you're gonna talk to and communicate with. They're gonna be like, you funny. Let me talk to you for a second. And here's what I do. And that exchange of ideas is very important. You know what I'm saying? And people there's the time where you can sit and where you can still do it, but it's not advantageous for you to, if you want to grow or do anything more than just sit in the back and sit at your computer and do what you want to do. And for some people that's fine, but for anybody that wants to grow and get somewhere and has a vision for their life, sitting behind in this cubicle or in this corner or behind, those days are over for that. We're living in a world where communication is being expanded on a daily. The fact that we're having an interview via Zoom is indicative of where the times are now. And you're going to have to be flexible with that and learn how to live in that. Otherwise, you're going to get left in the Stone Ages, baby. So, misconceptions about support. Let's talk about that. What are some major misconceptions about support that you've observed?
I think that support, misconceptions is when people say support Black business, or you kind of feel that you have to support a Black business because it's a Black business. I think the best thing that you can do for a Black business, I say support as far as if you want to buy a service from them, buy it, but also buy it and let them know how you liked it. Because supporting and buying my product and just to say, oh, I support it by buying, does nothing for me, because I need to know, what can I better? Did you like it? Where do I need to get better? And by you just purchasing from me with no feedback or about anything, how is that helping?
Feedback is good.
How is that helping? So also with I think misconceptions of support is and I just got brain fog.
No, that's okay, but even with the feedback, I think that's so true. But I think sometimes, I guess, in thinking about what you just said, the reason why some people are afraid to give feedback because some people don't like to hear it. I think, but that's important for us entrepreneurs, people that are trying to grow and create these businesses. You need that feedback, and I know that I attended this one seminar about feedback and why sometimes people don't want to receive it, and it's somehow we attach our identities to certain aspects of the things that we do, and to receive that critique is somehow a critique on us as a person. Not that you don't mean to do a good job or any of that. It's not that. This is how I see how this can be better, and here's how. And what you're hearing is you're saying, no, that's not what the feedback is meant to do. It's not to beat you down personally. It's to grow you. And sometimes and it can be hard to hear. Like, it can be hard to hear, because I got some feedback from my cousin, and it was a little hard to hear, but if it's meant to put you in a better place,
it's needed.
You need it. And that's just the quintessential truth, Ruth. You have to be able to hear that, and I think that's a very good point. Communication, it all really circles back to communication, and I love that you mentioned that.
Yes.
Support can, and often does, come from the people that you didn't even expect. What are some unexpected kinds of support that you've received?
Unexpected? I mean, as far as the unexpected, of course, I receive support from people that I don't know, and that can be via social media. I mean, oftentimes support is not family. So honestly, some support just from ultimate strangers who have heard about it, maybe have tried it, have given me so much support throughout my journey. But yeah, and I think a lot of people kind of get discouraged if friends and family don't support them, regardless if it's a business or whatever you're doing. A lot of people get discouraged. And I understand it's the people that's close to you that you want to be happy for you, but that goes back into me saying when I was doing my competition, everybody won't understand.
Yeah, and they can be well-meaning. Like, some of the people, when they thought that you looked sick or whatever, they might have been well-meaning in their mind, she's doing this too much, she's making herself sick or whatever. But that doesn't necessarily mean that advice, that well-meaning advice, is good for you.
Definitely.
Or a part of your vision.
Definitely. So again, support, most of my support came from strangers and me meeting people that's been very supportive with giving me information, giving me advice, or even with people don't understand, just by sharing a post. Just by sharing a post can be so much support. And that can get your platform in front of other people that may, actually want them to buy into it or to even try your service. So.
Okay. Well, so which brings me to my next question. What's next for you? I mean, you are still a pretty young lady. And your journey is still on the journey. And do you have some brewing in the kitchen? What's in the lab? What you got going on coming up next? You're looking at me like, wouldn't you like to know?
I know. Yes, I have something major that's going to happen that I'm super excited about soon. just be on the lookout
Just
for it.
Wait.
Soon, something that for the community, for my Black queens. Yeah, so I'm super excited. Just be on the lookout for it. As you guys know, my Instagram is train with Trina on Instagram. My Facebook is @trainwtrina. My website is www.trainwtrina.com. So again, just be on the lookout. I promise you, you guys will not be upset. I just
co-signing that.
I have something great coming that I can't wait to share with everyone. So just be on the lookout for it, guys. I'm super excited. I'm always looking to elevate and to grow my business, not just for me, but for the people who continually support, for the people who genuinely love TWT. Man, I am just so excited to reveal this. So soon.
Yes. And I too am super excited to see what's next, just because, girl, I'll be watching you. I see you. I'm watching you, and I'm not just watching you. I'm watching everybody. I'm dead ass when I say I'm rooting for everybody Black. I mean it.
Yeah.
It's always so good to just see all the magic that we're producing. All the women on my timeline just are, man, like, we are these girls.
Killing it.
Man, killing the game. So anyway, I super appreciate you coming and interviewing with me and taking the time to talk with me today. It is always a pleasure talking to you, Miss Katrina Ferell. And I appreciate and love you so much for even being a support to me in any way possible.
Definitely. I love you. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. You're such an amazing person. Thank you so much again.
Oh, no worries. Thank you so much. I'll talk to you soon.
Yay.
Yay. Right. All right. So a special thanks again to Siobhan Plummer of Say Artistry Boutique for this wonderful t-shirt design. Check her out on Facebook or via email at saartistryboutique@gmail.com. Always, please come and join me next time on There I Said It, where I'll be joined by a special mystery guest. Peace out.